in all honesty, the most productive thing in the current lineup is singing into your phone and then deciphering those riffs and making them work. That's been the writing process, having a new guy in the band.
Yeah, I tried to do it once and they told me to shut up.
Ghost Cult Magazine welcomes in the gang of guys from Angelic, Desolation from Denver. How are y'all?
Doing good, man.
Doing good.
All right. Happy Sunday. Thanks for being here, doing this on a day off.
On the Lord's Day.
The Lord's Day, doing the Lord's work. There are no days off in metal, I've learned.
Yeah,
but
right.
Congratulations. New album is out. Orchestrionic Abortion. I hope I said that. Orchestrionic Abortion.
There you go.
Orchestrionic.
Just try to practice it a bunch of times.
They named the album. I wanted to call the album Fart Bus, but they said no.
It's humor doesn't get its day in a lot of music, right? But of course, in extreme music, we have grindcore and death metal, which allows for a little bit of humorous license. And I know that people spend a lot of time. There are entire countries that have banned death metal. I wanted to start the interview here. Music is supposed to be a respite from regular life, right? And that's the fun. I think you guys have a lot of fun. You are not serial murderers or, do horrible things to chimpanzees.
We cannot confirm or deny any of that, but
I don't believe that any chimps were harmed in the making of this movie, album or movie or whatever. Or if there's a video with chimps, I doubt you would harm a chimp.
No, I love chimps.
Yeah, right.
They fuck me up too. I'm afraid of chimps. So,
well, did you guys see Nope? I don't want to spoil the movie for anybody, but
no, I have not yet.
Oh, then you should. But then also you might need like someone to hug you at night. The Stuff of Nightmares. Jordan Peele, that guy. The guy from Key and Peele. I did not have on my bingo card making like the best scary movies of like the last 10 years.
He's been doing great horror movies lately, man.
Really, he really leaned into it. I'm proud of him. Great filmmaker. But yeah, man, this album's wild. It's it's not your typical extreme metal album. There is a lot of humor in it, but also it's like some tremendous stuff. I've followed the band for a long time. I know Matt on and off from the interwebs for a very long time, and this record feels like the culmination of a long time coming. A lot of hard work for you guys.
Yeah, definitely. We recorded, at least when I was doing my vocals, I had just like lost my job and just life pissed me off so fucking much that like you can hear it come out in the record. My wife is even like, you sound really good when life's fucking kicking you. But that's the thing. The music's supposed to be an outlet, or at least we see it as an outlet to, get aggression out, get artistry out, learn skills. So we dig it.
Right on. I know there's a sort of a history of early grindcore. I don't know. I'm sure you guys are fans of Napalm Death. There is an early history of the genre with a lot of angry political bands, and of course, I have to call out Dictator. The pun on words, a lot of puns on this album. And I don't know if that's directed at many leaders or one in particular, but that's a fun track that probably is my favorite of all the tracks.
Oh, wow. Thank you. We definitely, we purposely don't really get involved with political things for numerous reasons. And honestly, if you read the lyrics, just about a potato taking over an entire grocery store, because if we're being real, potato's probably the most popular thing in the entire produce aisle. So they just decided that they were superior and decided to take over the whole grocery store. Yeah, and bass player, he works in a produce aisle, so he knows.
He knows from experience. I mean, potato is the most versatile vegetable, let's be honest.
It is the most versatile.
Oh, yeah.
It's really versatile. Everyone can enjoy it. Carnivores, vegetarians, vegans.
Yep.
Aliens, everybody. Except, the potatoes themselves are not having the best time because they get pulled from the ground and, murdered, summarily fried, tortured, a lot of torture. But yeah, that's a good one. I mean, I felt it was like, oh, is this like an allegory for like an actual political situation? No, it's about a potato. All right, I learned it today.
But it is kind of poking fun at like dictators in general. Just like the part of the song where they said that he's God, but he's not our God. He's not that God, but he is a God. Like the confusion of trying to make this person be like a God that it's not. So it was a little bit in there, but mostly it's just about a fucking potato.
Right on. Who's the least politically competent vegetable? It's probably like rhubarb I feel is like very left wing and ineffectual. Unfortunately, not about left wing people, but just left wing vegetables. Rhubarb comes to mind. It's tasty if you make it in a pie, but no other way.
Yeah,
Rutabaga, things with R's, right, are probably
yeah,
rhubarb.
I can see that.
DGO.
It's just like
A head of lettuce is probably like the dumbest fucking vegetable.
Well,
So-
iceberg lettuce has no
The
value.
iceberg specifically.
Iceberg, yeah,
It looks
that's what-
cool on a sandwich. It has no flavor, taste, or value.
It has
Other
no
lettuce,
purpose.
real purpose. It should probably find the nearest window and. But
Yeah.
I do feel like other types of lettuce have some sustenance and some nutrition.
Well, yeah.
Yeah, nutrition. I mean, at the very least, you could use it as a garnish, right? I mean, I had a iceberg lettuce. I mean, that just ends up rotting at the bottom of a trash can. And I mean, right now, if you watch this interview and you're like, "Where's my iceberg lettuce?" I bet you it's at the bottom of your trash can
It's
or
going-
in those little like drawers in your fridge.
It's
rotting.
going bad. It's
Yeah.
going bad. Yeah, you don't want it. You do not want it. 10 of 10. You do not want
Lettuce is a good throw-in food. Like lettuce, tomatoes, those are good throw-in foods.
I
Cabbage.
gotta go back to Batman Returns with Danny DeVito. Why do people always have tomatoes and lettuce at
They
these things?
just happen
Like,
to have
why?
that shit, dude. Dude, this country, I was gonna say, I will get political. I think this country needs more of that shit when when people are speaking. When the heads of our government, they should be required that you have vegetables in case you don't like what they have to say and you can fucking pummel them.
I would like to see like if you're gonna be in the White House press corps, I think you should have like a little satchel of tomatoes on your person at all
You
times.
know how
Maybe
awesome
going a
that
little
would be
bit
on
bad.
live TV. Just boo! Fucking shut it.
Boo this man and tomato. I don't like where this is going. Squish. Let's bring it back. Let's bring it back. What I don't know what other vegetables would be appropriate, but tomatoes and lettuce just seem good throwing. Round. They might carry with a little bit of
I feel
weight.
like rotten plums. That probably splatter pretty good.
Yeah,
Cantaloupes
plums
would
would-
hurt. So I'm not talking about maiming somebody. I just want to let them know
Yeah.
I disagree with this. I disapprove. Squish. Not like I'm trying to injure them. If you hurled a cantaloupe or a honeydew at Biden, you kill him. I'm not trying
I
to
was
kill
gonna
a
say like
president.
sharpened carrots. Like you sharpened carrots and just threw them as chucking knives, man.
Right on. I think Tool had a hidden track on one of their records about carrots and harvesting and things, and Holocaust for carrots. We're going back a long way though. I'm taking it back to the 90s. But yeah, man, a killer record. Like I said, this has been something you guys have worked at for a very long time. And just, I feel like Denver and just the mountain area always has killer bands. It's just but Denver in particular, Colorado as a state, maybe. I'm not sure why it is. There's a lot of great doom metal bands, a lot of great thrash bands, but you have a lot of like really killer death metal bands. I don't know
Yeah.
what it is about Denver. It's supposed to be like very chill and everybody's high on legal weed.
That's
and-
why it is chill. Everyone knows you're in a metal band, you're fucking chill, man. You gotta be.
Word. I think Cephalic Carnage showed us the way, right? Because they were kind of
Yes.
like one of the innovators of kind of the early technical death metal and songs all about weed.
Hmm.
Yeah, no, there's I mean, I believe they coined the term hydro grind back in the day.
Hydro grind.
And
yeah.
there's still some old heads in the scene who are, I mean, because Leonard, the vocalist, he's in and out of shows all the time. If you go to shows in Denver, you're going to see Leonard guaranteed. And it's just cool to see that there's still some people that remember that early time of Cephalic just getting started. Those guys still come to shows out here.
Right on. And then on the other end of the spectrum of slowness, I have to shout out Ethan from Primitive Man. I know he's not putting on as many shows anymore because he's busy being in shows and touring with his current split album and stuff like that. But for a long time, I know he was putting on like literally every important show across every genre, and
So-
we're big supporters.
Yeah. No, it's actually it's kind of a crazy to even bring that up. Leonard and I, when we were in our first death metal band called Allothrisis, Ethan, he was in a band called Clinging to the Trees of a Forest Fire. And so actually Leonard went to school with him, went to the same high school. Like we're best friends with him for a while. Small world.
That is
Man,
wild.
that band was doing God's work, man.
For real. Or Satan. Or
Just
Satan.
purposely entrapping emo kids at your show and being like, we're a death metal band and we're gonna make fun of you on stage for 30 minutes.
I mean, that's a generational thing. We always find, I don't want to bully anybody, but I don't mind picking on them a little. You gotta give them a little bit of heat, right? You don't want to bully them to like sadness. That's not cool.
Yeah.
there's enough gatekeeping across all of metal, but like at the
Well,
same time,
definitely.
just like we used to pick on glam metal kids, the thrash kids,
Yeah.
we were just like,
Yeah.
oh, how you doing with that Kicks record, bro? Like, why don't you listen to this Slayer? It's too heavy for me. Okay, bro. And that's fine. Like, we were all like that as kids, and I think we're better now. I hope we're better now. I don't know.
Yeah, I guess. Yeah, I'm a lot nicer.
A little bit nicer. We get nicer as we get older. I think that's fair. So let's dial it back for a second and just talk about like what's the process like you got a new guy in the band, but like what's the process? You finished the last record, you play some shows, you toured a little bit, you put out a video, okay, it's time to start a new cycle. Let's talk about like how does your band do an album cycle? You guys start writing together? Is it kind of organic? There's no real plan yet. How do you take us through what that looks like for the uninitiated?
I was just gonna answer yes.
That's fine. We accept that answer.
It's kind of hard to say. In all honesty, if anyone has been following the band, we had one of the founding members, the bass player. So there was a way that him and I used to write all the time. He is no longer with us. We parted ways last year, and what happened was we knew right ahead is like, look, we have 1.5 songs. If we split ways, I'm going to have to write the other 6.5, 5.5 songs on the album all by myself, and I've got 5 months to do it. It's crunch time. So honestly, 90% of this album, like music wise, I pretty much just came up out of I just had to haul ass and just really kind of hit the dirt and really get this album done. Now that's not to say, so I'll write the basis of something, I bring it here, give it to the drummer. We kind of decide maybe that sounds better 3 or 4 times, kind of hash it out that way. And the final person who gets the product would be Jay, but Jay has been hearing us jam it for maybe 3 to 4 months at any given time. So he's probably
I'll slowly start writing lyrics and vocal patterns depending on how was it Brutus that I already had like most of that song written and you guys are like, we changed it. I was like, fuck, dude. I had to like go back and redo it. But
ideally what we're trying to shoot for this time around is that, because I've known Leonard, like honestly, him and I, like I said, we had that first death metal band. I've known him since I was probably 12, 13 years old, something like that. So ideally, it'll just be kind of what we've started the writing process for the new stuff, and what seems to be working well so far is kind of the same thing. I'll have some riffs, Leonard has some riffs, and if we can't meet up, he will literally just sing them into a phone, like hit send it over to me, and I'm
decipher it.
Do as a riff.
So. Yeah. So in all honesty, the most productive thing in the current lineup is singing into your phone and then deciphering those riffs and making them work. That's been the writing process, having a new guy in the band.
Amazing. And whatever makes it work. Now I'm going to envision you doing that, like singing into your phone.
Man.
There's like clips and clips on our phones.
Yeah.
I tried to do it once and they told me to shut up.
Oh.
I was like, I got this cool riff. Matt goes, no, you don't. Hung up on me.
Maybe on the next one. We'll see. And just, you mentioned patterns. So do you get lyrical ideas and jot them down, but patterns make more sense at first as you're trying to like get the flow of a song, or sometimes the other way around?
I'll come up with lyrics as basically what I'll do is just like mumble sounds, like just make the sounds of where I want the lyrics to go in the song, so I get a pattern down. And then once I do that, I'll be like, okay, this is 3 syllables, so I can do a 3-syllable word here, and this is 2 syllables, I can do that there. That's pretty much how that goes down. And then I just get stupid funny fucking ideas in my head and be like, yeah, like I can put fart here, cool, let's do that.
Nice. How do you not just die laughing in the studio from some of this stuff? Because like some of these songs are just unbelievable.
We're already used to it pretty much, but what I'll do is, because I have to have everything written out, and it's the studio guy, whoever's recording us, it's been Taylor Hahn, but whoever records us just laughs, being like, really, that's the next thing he's saying? So, but we're used to it. Once I have the lyrics down, I tell these guys what they are, and we usually have a laugh over that thing too. So yeah.
Right. And just the follow up to that, so like you said, you had gotten most of a song done and then they changed it. when is it you agreed on that it's done between everybody? What's the pull point?
Well, if we're going off this last album, final day of recording.
It's done. It's fucking done. Yeah, pretty much. Yeah.
Every singer knows the pain, bro. Every singer knows the pain. That's
No, we for the final track, the final original track on the album, that Chimp AIDS Lab Attack, or AIDS Chimp Lab Attack, sorry. We had talked about it leading up to the studio that we're going to have chimp noises in there with them breaking beakers and breaking out. And somehow we got in the studio and it became an issue between some of us that we didn't think there should be chimp sounds in the song. The reference, like, look, we've been talking about this for 6 to 8 months. So I was like, really, like that last original song on there was some up and downs there the last few days of recording, but we got it done. That's all that matters.
Yeah.
It's very 28 days later when you hear it back.
That's what I thought. That's what I was thinking. Yeah, except instead of a zombie virus, they have AIDS.
Right. And also, I will say, irrespective of just my own personal opinion, I think that song title works in any 4 combinations of words. So
it's funny you say that.
Lab attack, AIDS chimp, anyway. Chimp AIDS, lab attack lab, chip AIDS, like it all works. It will be understood no matter what order. And that's a gift, man. That's a gift.
We'll take it.
Well, yeah, word. I love the cover. Like, we have to talk about the cover, right? We got to talk about Cattle Decapitation, new Cattle Decapitation album coming out soon. You guys have a new album coming out around the same time as them. I think that's really cool and coincidental. But it's like one of their pinnacle songs. There were a lot of pressure when you go to, you did a great job, but like, okay, we're going to do a cover, or we like doing this cover live. When you go in and record a cover, is there like a little bit of self pressure there? Because like, it is like one of their best known songs.
Definitely.
Yeah. There's pressure on. I mean, honestly, personally for me, because I've been in the studio, I lost track of how many times. I feel more pressure if we play some of the more popular, like a cover like that, super popular. We play that like we're opening for a national tour, because it's like, not only does everyone in the crowd know this song, but all those guys who are going to tell all their friends in bigger bands than you if you cover sucks or not. Like, that's where I feel the pressure if we're playing on a national tour and playing the actual cover. Studio, not so much, at least for me.
I get pressure from, because you don't want it to suck. You're trying to do a service to a band that you really admire, that you care about, and you don't want to fuck that up, especially on a recording, which is going to live on forever. Eventually, someday, I'll stop being on stage, but this recording could fucking be sent into space. I don't want an alien to think we fucking sucked at recording a cover for Cattle.
That's the thing we want.
Yeah, aliens know Cattle's awesome.
Imagine the aliens in like 100 years. Like, we found this disc with music on it, and we interpreted it. We were going to annihilate the planet, but we heard this awesome Cattle Decapitation cover, and we decided to spare the human race. Imagine if that's your legacy.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. We save the world. So you don't want to fuck that up.
We should send grind and extreme metal records into space. We absolutely should. Like, I know they sent like Beethoven and the Beatles and Bach and stuff. Nah, man, we should definitely send death metal.
I always thought maybe if they sent death metal, like, aliens would actually fuck off and be like, I don't want anything of what's going on that fucking planet. Jesus Christ.
That would be great. We should be so lucky. Probably not. They're gonna come down and annihilate the shit out of us. There's no question. We will lose that war. I love Independence Day and all that stuff. We're gonna lose that battle on day 1. It won't even be a whole day. It'll be like in a half an hour. They can travel space. They have like hyperdrive and space travel. We're screwed, bro.
They have space travel, probably better weapons. We're just dumb monkeys with Twitter.
We're fighting on Twitter. The owner of Twitter sank the whole. It was perfectly fine. It wasn't fine, but it was like not that bad. And he ruined it in like literally 8 weeks. And we're arguing about like, reality TV and dumb shit. So like, we're screwed. Yeah. Like,
we're
what color the dress is online on Facebook or whatever.
Yeah.
Whatever the kids are doing these days. So, you got, this is a fun thing, because you kind of, Matt helped me with my segue there a little bit. Like, you guys have become kind of a band. When you're not on tour, you have been the band locally that does get to open for the bigger bands when they come to town. So that means A, you can draw, and B, you're reliable and promoters like you and stuff like that. What advice would you give to the band that wants to become you guys, get to that level themselves? Because to me, that's the next level before you can tour. You need to be reliable locally, right? As a band that can draw and, not play too many times, not overplay too much, and just be a scene band first before you can be a national band. So you guys have done that. what advice would you give to other bands who are starting out to do the same?
Well, you make a good point about playing your own town too much. I mean, if you got a new album coming out, that's one thing. If you're a new band, maybe that's another thing. You need to get your name out there. But if you, again, once you're past that stage, you're like, how do I get on these bigger shows? I mean, for us, we don't play Denver. We try not to do it more than 3 times a year, like once per quarter, if that. And even then, it's half the time it's not even local stuff. We'll just jump on a bigger show and not do any local stuff. That's not, but simultaneously, that can make people in your scene who might be coming up think, well, okay, so they only go to these bigger shows. No, another part of getting on these things is like you actually have to be present. Now, I know, let's be real here, every member of every band is not going to go shows and participate in their scene. That's not the point, though. If at least 1 or 2 of you can hit up shows a few times a month in your surrounding area to let your face be known, you buy other bands' merch. You just need to build a community. Like, it can just literally be as simple as going to shows and subscribing to those people, follow people on Facebook and just comment on their stuff. Just show up everywhere. And then if people aren't going to, like, you only talk about Cannibal Corpse because in the world of death metal, they show up everywhere. Now, obviously, that's a very obfuscated example because they're the biggest guys. But if you are everywhere, people will know who you are. People will listen to your music. They'll buy your shirts, all of that. So it's really there's probably 80 things I could say, but I'd say number 1, be present in your own scene. And if you're promote and be present in your own scene. And I'd even take that further. Like, I'll go to shows that aren't even in the same genre. Like, people who aren't in the death metal scene, I'll go to their shows. And I'm not saying I'm buying your CD because I'm going to blare you while I'm driving down the freeway, but I'll still support you. We're all still musicians here, and musicians tend to know each other. And half the time, someone who's plays guitar in this band plays in another genre in this band. So you're really just kind of stepping on your own foot if you want to shit on the other genres.
Yeah, it's really big to like he was saying, like, shows that you do play, like, really talk to the other bands, buy them a beer, fucking, really get to know them, because that's gonna help you build up the more people you got behind you. If you're just kind of like the quiet asshole band that doesn't like anybody, people are gonna kind of be like,
It's fair. Yeah, pay it forward and be seen, not just to be seen, but be present. I like that advice a lot. And the Bay Area, I've lived here for a year and a half, and I think some of these bands out here need to learn some of that, like playing a little too often. And I do see bands at other people's shows, big and small, so that's nice. But yeah, we can learn a thing or two out here from that. That's some good advice. So what's on the docket for you guys? The record's out, and what's the plan, if you have one that you can share, for 23 to promote this thing?
I think we're gonna probably play as a jam band for a couple of years to really get that down.
Yeah.
And then no, I don't. We're gonna be writing music and fucking still trying to kick ass.
We got so there's Denver Death Fest, which is going to be over the 420 weekend here, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. That's our next show that's coming up. That should be, I mean, the best local death metal bands are on that, all on top of all the nationals coming in. So that should be a party, and it's 420 weekend in Denver. It's going to be a party and a half, and there's going to be people sleeping in flower pots. Yeah, but besides that, we are doing some out-of-state stuff as we kind of move into summer. There's 2 of us in the band that recently switched jobs and don't exactly have the paid time off that maybe they would have had available to them for touring in longer stints. So everything we're doing out-of-state this year is like a Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday type of run. But I mean, we're no strangers to hitting the road, so we're definitely going to do it more. It's just we can't do it for 3 weeks at a time, unfortunately. But on the other hand, who really wants to play a Tuesday show, So it's just going to be weekends for us. So.
Those are the best shows anyway. The
start
weekend.
writing some more music.
Nice work. There you go. I like to hear it. I feel like we should end this. It's like the beginning of April, which is still like, how did it get to be April? Because it came after March, dumbass. But I know it's WrestleMania weekend. I'm not a super big wrestling guy anymore, but it's also baseball season, and I didn't know if any of you guys are sports fans, if the Rockies are still a thing at all. It's a long way from football.
Are they a thing?
It's a long way from football.
Yeah. The Rockies, as far as Denver goes, because the Avs, they've had their shining moments, as they have recently.
They're still kicking. Yeah.
I'm just being real with you. Like, there's some diehard fans in Denver for baseball, but like the Rockies and the Rapids, that's the soccer team. They get crapped on the most by far.
Yeah. I mean, the Broncos also sucked ass. I'm more of a football hockey guy. Huge Avs fan. I'm a huge Broncos fan, but fuck, dude, come on.
Yeah, they got to fix that quarterback guy. I don't know.
They've been saying that for 15 years out here.
Yeah, 230 million dollars, and then he sucked. I don't know what's going on.
Yeah,
But
the coach sucked. All that shit. Yeah,
I live on the West Coast, and I'm still an East Coast sports fan, so that's hard for me. But I'm gonna pursue. I'm gonna power through and
keep doing it.
see what happens. But yeah, man. Best of luck to you guys. Again, love the new record. I'm not gonna try to say it again and ruin it, but we're gonna link everything in the description where people can pick it up. And keep us posted on your tours. And if you get out west, I'll make sure to come out and fist bump you and buy you a beer.
Fuck yeah, man.
Yeah.
Sounds good.
Angelic Desolation, thanks for hanging with Ghost Cult. We appreciate you. See ya.
Fuck yeah.
Cool.
Thank you, man.
Good to see you again,
Appreciate
Keefy.
dude.
Always. Take care.
You too, man.